I have to say, as the headlines came out, I was really surprised. I mean, Walmart made $485 billion last year. It's the most of any U.S. company.
There's certainly big numbers and definitely come in contrast into what has happened so far in the past. So far, we've heard from Target that had a bad holiday quarter. We've heard from all the other retailers that have been struggling, and so it certainly was a surprise.
Yeah, because Target had the disappointing holiday sales, so the mood going into Walmart wasn't that great. Where are they in the shift to e-commerce? They bought Jet.com last year. That was all about their online commerce sales. Even the value of what they sold online rose. Have they pivoted?
I think that's the most important thing coming out of this quarter, is that this purchase of Jet has turned out to be so far so good and fast. I mean, showing results pretty quickly. One thing that they had included that is interesting to point out in their online sales is online grocery. So these are sales that are initiated online but then picked up in drive-thrus in stores, and they continue to be rolling that out, and that seems to be making an effect so far.
So they've been investing a lot of money. What's it doing to their margin?
Their margin's definitely contracting. I mean, this is something that I kind of keep hitting on over and over again. Walmart is a big, mammoth retailer. They can push sales or they can push profits. They typically cannot do both at the same time.
Well, when do all these investments start to pay off for them in terms of profitability?
That's a great question. I mean, this is a long investment for e-commerce, especially if they're ever going to really catch up with Amazon. And so, I mean, they say profitability will start in start to show some stabilization in 2019, even maybe 2018. But this is going to be a long-term investment.
Paul, at the top of the hour, Alex went through the numbers, and the first thing we said around this table is the elephant in the room is the border adjustment tax. But you don't think it's going to happen. Why?
You know, I'm not a trained economist the way some of these brilliant people are who keep analysing it, but they keep saying the same thing. The dollar needs to appreciate 20% at a minimum to make it work. You know, the problem I have with that as an old currency guy is that the market won't wait for demand and supply to get you to 20%. Can you imagine if the dollar rallied 15% in a day, what that would do for global financial markets? Imagine the tweets coming out of President Trump that day. So I think they're not thinking about the practicalities. It may happen, but it won't happen this year because it's too rushed. I actually think it would cause global turmoil given the appreciation of the dollar in that speed.
Shelly, David brings up the issue of margins. How does a company like Walmart possibly prepare for something like the border adjustment tax?
And this would be pretty horrible for Walmart, and that's why they're part of a group of retailers that are really trying to lobby against that. People don't realize that the cost of clothing, for example, has not gone up since the 1990s. People are not ready for those kinds of price increases, and consumers aren't going to really take that.
And then just to that point, we heard the CFO commenting that the border tax proposal is concerning to us. So they're still obviously that rhetoric, that story
very diplomatic,
coming
these
out
CEOs,
there.
aren't they? Concerned.
But that's to the public, behind
we
the
were
scenes.
saying earlier, you've got 2 Republican senators in Arkansas. I think this one's going to be a really tough one.
Well, look at the retail ETF, the XRT, Paul, and that's up about 6% since the election, has not participated as much as some of the other sectors. What do you do?
I think you just stay long it. I mean, the consumer feels really good at present. This beautiful weekend we had in New York, people are out there, they're shopping, they're online. I think the consumer feels really good. They're okay about Trump. Trump's flying around in his new plane on the weekend. He's back out there with his people. They're okay. It's the markets that are frustrated with Trump. I think that everyday people are feeling okay still about this new administration, and they're shopping.
Do you make a distinction between, say, apparel stores or the guys like Walmart that have a lot of groceries, like Shelly was pointing out, versus the specialty retailers, or just in general, the consumer is the theme?
I think the consumer in general feels a lot better. You just got to see the sun come out and they're out, and I think that's a very good sign for the economy.
Positive on this Tuesday. Shelley,
and the Fed is looking at this as well.